The NBA season is around halfway done, and players across the league have established their footing in the NBA. Some players have been exceptional in their roles and are in contention for awards like MVP, Most Improved, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man, and more. In today's video, I'll be giving out my mid-season NBA awards to each player who I think should win it so far. I'll also list my top 3 players in consideration for the award. Things can change by the end of the season, so the players chosen in this video are because of their performances from the very beginning of the season up until now. Before getting started, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, StubHub. StubHub is the #1 website in the world to buy or sell tickets to your favorite events, whether it be sports games, concerts, and so many more. StubHub has an easy-to-use website where you can easily find great ticket prices for whatever event you want to go to. This is the best way to buy tickets to watch your favorite players in an amazing NBA arena atmosphere. Make sure to check the link in my pinned comment or description to see if you find any great deals for you and help support my channel as we continue to grow. Also, check out the link in my pinned comment or description to find discounts on exclusive NBA gear at the NBA store before they expire. If you have any video suggestions or requests, please drop a comment so I can put it on the list and create it. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe. It is by far the best way to support the channel and ensure you don't miss out on any great basketball content like this. Also, like the video and comment on who would you choose to win each award, and also if I was accurate with these selections. With that being said, let's dive straight into the video. For the first award, at MVP, it was a close race between Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and Jayson Tatum. But the MVP in my eyes so far is Joel Embiid. It was a close call, but Embiid has been playing exceptionally well this year. In a year where the 76ers were under a lot of pressure to figure this out, due to Joel Embiid's injury history, James Harden's age, and the lack of moves the Sixers could make, they had to figure it out. And this was the year. Embiid has been the core piece to leading the Sixers to the 2nd seed in the East and has been putting up absolutely legendary numbers to go with it. He's averaging 34 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists while shooting 53% from the field and a career best free throw percentage. Joel has been improving as a player as well, showing he's not just able to dominate in the post, but has been producing on the perimeter and mid-post as well. In an era where it seems as if big men are less likely to dominate the NBA, Embiid is showing that narrative to be wrong. But for the past 3 years, it's been a tight 1-2 race for MVP between Joel Embiid and rival big man Nikola Jokic. Jokic has been the past 2 MVPs in the NBA and is currently neck and neck with Embiid to win it this year as well. If Jokic wins the MVP this year, it will be the first time in modern NBA history where a player has won 3 MVPs in a row, which I think is highly unlikely. Also, in Embiid's recent matchup against Jokic, he put up an insane stat line of 47 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks while getting the win also. This performance should help Joel's chances of winning MVP as well, considering the rivalry behind him and Jokic. Overall, I think Joel Embiid is the NBA MVP so far this season due to leading his team to wins and his insane stat line this season. For the Rookie of the Year, it was between Paolo Banchero, Walker Kessler, and Bennedict Mathurin. But the Rookie of the Year this year is by far Paolo Banchero. Stat line alone, there isn't many rookies in NBA history you can say are putting up similar stat lines to Paolo. And that alone could be a good argument to put him in front of anybody else in this class. But that's not it. From the moment Summer League tipped off, we all knew Banchero was not only the most impactful rookie so far in the NBA, but also most ready to take over from day one, and he has shown he's capable of that. When the NBA season first started, for the first 2 months of action, whenever somebody would talk about the rookies, it was always the Paolo Banchero show. He was putting up legendary numbers, and since then has slowed down a little bit, and has been performing a little bit more inconsistently, but is still miles ahead of the rest of his class. Paolo's skill set is advanced, being that he's only 20, and has shown he's capable of scoring anywhere on the court. Bennedict Mathurin has been a close second to Paolo, and has had an exceptional rookie year so far, averaging 17 a game off the bench, and a surge of wins for the Pacers, as they look to change directions of the franchise. Walker Kessler has also been playing great for the Jazz, and although the stats may not be as impressive as other rookies behind him, when you dive deeper into advanced metrics and stats for total points accounted for and greatest impact, Kessler in fact leads every rookie in the NBA in those categories, which definitely backs up why the Jazz said he's the only player besides Lauri Markennen that's untouchable in their franchise. For the 6th Man of the Year, it was a close race between Russell Westbrook, Jordan Poole, and Malcom Brogden. But for the 6th Man of the Year, I have to go with Malcom Brogden. The Boston Celtics are having an absolutely amazing season so far, and a huge part of that is their depth. Brogden has been the main guy off their bench to make a big impact for the team, averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. His stats don't do him justice though to how much he's impacting the team. Brogden is third in all splits for the Celtics, behind potential MVP Jayson Tatum and All-Star Jalen Brown. The Celtics are currently the first seed in the East and are the favorites to win the NBA championship. Without Malcom Brogden though, I'm not sure how likely it would be that they would win the NBA championship or even go this far. In most sites, Russell Westbrook is the favorite to win the Sixth Man of the Year award, and while his stat lines are good and he's putting up great numbers, one thing he isn't putting up is wins. And with the Lakers having LeBron and Anthony Davis and still only being the 13th seed, I don't think he should win the award, despite the injuries that have occurred. The same can be said somewhat about Jordan Poole. Although the Warriors are on pace to make the playoffs, they are having a down year, and they are the reigning NBA champions. And also, Poole efficiency-wise hasn't been shooting too good. He's been shooting career lows. So being that the Celtics are winning and Brogden is making a huge contribution in an efficient manner, he's my choice for the Sixth Man of the Year. For the most improved player of the year, it was between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Brunson, and Lauri Markennen. It was very, very, very close, but the most improved player so far is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai has not only improved his stats across the board, not only has he been shooting career high efficiencies across the board, but he has been contributing in games and has shown he is capable of winning games for the Thunder single-handedly, despite the very weak roster that they have. Currently on the season, Shai is averaging 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, off near 50-40-90 efficiencies. Last year, Shai was seen as a player who was already pretty good and seemed to be the best player on the Thunder, and with the OKC looking to extend to a longer rebuild, Shai's trades came into the picture. But now with his performances this season, those trade talks are completely dead, and there is no way he gets traded. On top of that, SGA is no longer just a pretty good player anymore, but rather, he's an NBA superstar, and that status is solidified. He's easily a top 10 player in the NBA currently, and really made a huge jump from anything he's shown us in previous years. Although I chose SGA to win the award, it was really a coin toss between him and Lauri Markennen. Markennen has been spectacular and has probably made the most unexpected jump out of anyone in the NBA. On top of that, he has taken the star role that most of us haven't expected, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if he ends up winning the award. The same can be said about Jalen Brunson to a lesser extent. The Knicks are currently in the playoff race after being a lottery team just last season, and that's a big thanks to Jalen Brunson. So overall, while this award may be much closer than other awards, so far this has to go to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. For the Defensive Player of the Year, it was between Nicholas Claxton, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Brook Lopez. But for the Defensive Player of the Year, I have to go with Jaren Jackson Jr. Jackson Jr. has missed the first part of the NBA season recovering from an injury that sidelined him last season. Prior to his season debut this year, the Grizzlies struggled on the defensive end, but as soon as Jackson made his return, he immediately anchored their defense. Currently, the Grizzlies are the best defensive team in the NBA, and Jaren Jackson is clearly the best defender on that team. On top of that, Jackson currently leads the NBA in blocks per game at 3.1 blocks a game. Jackson also leads the NBA in fewest points allowed on drives and is contributing to 5 defensive rebounds and 1 steal a game. Although these stats are impressive though, there are a couple things that could potentially hold back Jackson Jr. from actually winning the award, and one could be his availability. Since he missed part of the first half of this season, voters could hold that against him, as well as the narrative that the Grizzlies are stat padding for Jackson Jr. Despite that, I don't think it should be that big of a difference, and due to his performance this season, I think it's an easy call to say he can win the award at the end of the season. Lastly, the Coach of the Year goes to Joe Mazzulla of the Boston Celtics. It's pretty ironic how this whole Celtics coaching sequence went, with Brad Stevens, who was a successful coach, switching positions to GM and getting a replacement in Ime Udoka, who led the Celtics to the NBA Finals in his first year, while being one of the best coaches in the NBA, to then getting suspended and losing his job months later, and getting a third replacement once again, and a first-year head coach in Joe Mazzulla, who has led the Celtics to the #1 seed in the East and is orchestrating the best offensive team in the NBA by far. The Celtics were able to win games despite losing out on Robert Williams for the first 30 games of the season, and that cohesion of this team has a huge part to do with Joe Mazzulla. So with that, I think he's an easy lock to win the award for Coach of the Year. While we are just halfway through the season, these are my selections for each award. These selections may or may not change as the season moves on, and as we see these guys play in more and more games. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end and you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It is by far the best way to support me and help this channel grow. And I appreciate you so much if you're a returning or new subscriber. make sure to check out the link in the pinned comment or description for the best way to buy tickets to all your favorite events at StubHub. Also, check the link in the pinned comment or description to check out the Fnatic store link in the description for some exclusive deals on NBA gear before they expire and to help support the channel. Stay tuned because we have some big stuff coming soon. If you haven't already, make sure you join the Discord link in the description. Like the video and comment on any video suggestions for the future and anything I could have done better. Also, comment on what you guys think about each selection I made and what are your selections for each award. Let's get a great basketball conversation started. I hope to see you guys on the next video and have a blessed day. Peace.